So I'm not a YouTuber. Well, I wish, but I'm not. But I wanted to make this video to talk about or to vent out about this whole show and the whole Marvel situation. Because I'm freaking pissed off, to be honest. And at this point, I don't know why I'm watching. Because I keep hoping that they will deliver, but they simply don't. And not only this show, it's the whole thing after Endgame. They made nothing of a quality since Endgame, except for like 5 shows and movies I can name, which are Spider-Man, so good. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was amazing, and that's not really like related. It's its own thing, Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, in terms of show, WandaVision was good. Loki was mediocre. Moon Knight was mediocre. That's it. That's the best that I can give them after Endgame. And I don't know why this has happened. I don't know why. Because they used to understand the characters. They used to understand that we don't watch superhero movies to see like superpowers and stuff. We can't relate to that. We are freaking humans. We are just humans. And we relate to human struggles. We relate to like humanity and character development, weakness. And it doesn't even has to be a human. It could be a freaking dog or a freaking raccoon as Guardians of the Galaxy. And we will relate and we will cry. And even if that character only spoke like 3 freaking words, I am Groot, it would still make an impact. It would still make the audience cry. When Groot said, "We are Groot," before he died, we felt that. We freaking felt that because you give us character development. You give us time to understand the character, to relate to the character, to have an empathy for the character, to love the character. You showed some struggle, some humanity in them. You showed something that we can relate to. You're not doing any of that now. You done that with a tree that spoke 3 words, and now we can't do that with humans with like big names, stars, and stuff. Because you had a director and a writer, which was James Gunn, who can understand the characters. And now we don't. And they used to understand that. And now they simply don't. They just give superpowers as snacks. And it doesn't really matter. Then they don't give them weakness. They don't give them struggle. I can't relate to them. When we watched Marvel movies, we watched them because of the characters. Let me give you an example. Marvel always struggled with fight scenes, right? People always criticized Marvel movies before Endgame and even in Endgame for their fight scenes. Well, we didn't care. Because when we watched Marvel movies, that is the least of our concerns. What we cared about are the characters, their development, their relation to each other, their struggles, their weakness, how they overcome this, and how they show us to be the best version of ourselves and don't surrender to the dark side. That's what made the characters awesome. We see Tony Stark that he is not invincible. Underneath this suit, he is just human like us, and he has struggles. He's just a freaking child who still suffers from trauma that he didn't be loved by his father. And in Iron Man 2, we see that his father actually loved him. We see this, and we relate to this. And in Endgame, we see him meeting his father and finally understanding how much he loved him and appreciating that. Because he's doing the same to his daughter. And it's just awesome, man. It's just awesome. And in Iron Man 1, we see a man not caring for anyone. A man suddenly confronted by what his actions, what his company is doing, it's killing people, and we see that. We see him discovering that his weapons are being used against the people that he thought they were protecting, against the innocent. By experiencing this firsthand, what's beautiful that he started his journey not by looking at a village being destroyed. He just spoke with one person with him in a cave, and that put him on his journey. The conversation they had put him on the track to be Iron Man, and that's beautiful because you made it personal. Because they could have easily made the thing that put him on track is like a CGI destruction, but making it personal is more impactful, not only for him, but also for the audience. And we see that. We care about that. Yeah, that's human. That's human. Captain America. He just wants to do good. He's just this skinny dude who wants to do good, and this good might come clashing with maybe even the government that he's working for, but he doesn't care. As silly as this sounds, he just wants to do good because he's pure hearted. He might do mistakes, but he still just want to do good. Because as silly as this sounds, he will sacrifice himself. He will do it all day just to make the world a little bit more peaceful. And when he was confronted by his old friend, he didn't fight him at the end. He called upon his heart, and that worked. Because that's human. That's human. He didn't get like a device that removes the control of Hydra and like this magical stuff, because that's what will Marvel do right now. No, he called upon the heart of his friend because he knows deep down inside of him he's still his old friend. And that's human. That's so human. Even freaking Rocket Raccoon has more humanity than any of Marvel characters after Endgame. Thanos has more humanity than any Marvel characters after Endgame. He at least has something, ideology, flaws, and he acknowledged that. And he just had some love for, even if it's a sick love for his daughter. We see that. We relate to that. We related to frickin' Thanos. I related to frickin' Thanos more than I related to any of Marvel characters post Endgame, and I don't know if that's saying something about me or something about how bad their quality has been. It's really sad to see. Even like minor characters like Ant-Man, we cared about Ant-Man because he just wanted to be a good father for his daughter. We cared about Thor because, honestly speaking, Thor's character at the first in the first movie, before he was sent to Earth to be humiliated and to learn about humanity and to become more empathetic and to become more selfless, and to learn that he's selfish, and to learn that he's ignorant, and to learn that he's not a god. That character is every Marvel character now, and the problem is that they don't acknowledge their flaws. They don't acknowledge it as flaws. Every Marvel character right now, post Endgame, it's just Thor before he was sent to Earth. And they don't have this journey of like humiliation and understanding of humans. They need this journey. They need to be sent to Earth somehow. Like, they need this journey. I was so excited for She-Hulk. I was sending the trailers to everybody, and I didn't learn the lesson because I was also so excited for Captain Marvel. I was posting it all over the internet, and I'm looking stupid right now. Yes, these characters are the most unhuman, unimaginative, overpowered characters. They are so self-centered. I can't relate to them. They don't have this inner struggles. They don't have emotions. They don't even show emotions. And I can't relate to that. That simply is not how humans are. How can I relate to something that doesn't have any humanity left in them? They are just godlike beings. Why would I care about them? They are like those perfect beings. Humans are not perfect, and there's nothing wrong with that. Marvel needs to understand that there's nothing wrong in being imperfect, because in our imperfection, we complete each other and we become perfect. But I can't relate to those godlike characters. I can't relate to them because they are not human. Being so powerful is not character development. Starting your movie with being weak and then being so powerful at the end is not character development. We don't care about that. We don't care that you can lift a freaking building. That's cool. That's cool stuff. I don't care if I don't know who you are. And if this power is your whole character, then I don't give a damn about you. And if your whole show is you saying that you don't give a damn about saving humans, I don't give a damn about you. So that's not human. And they don't acknowledge their flaws. Because She-Hulk has flaws. She is so self-centered and she's so ignorant. But they are treating this as, yes, that's good. That's good stuff. Be self-centered. Don't serve anybody but yourself. That's good stuff. No, that's bad. That's not human. I can't relate to that. I can't relate to a character that you're telling me that her only flaw is that she can't realize how great she is all along. That's not realistic. Being weak is being human. We are all weak. We are all have struggles. We have these insecurities, and without them, we are not humans. Gives those characteristic to even like a Pepsi bottle, and I would care about this Pepsi bottle, but when you don't even give these characteristics to like a human being, how should I care? Just because she's human, I don't care. I care about Raccoon because he has his characteristics. Ironically, a character, whether it's woman or man, being so like overpowered and they like doesn't have flaws and doesn't have anything that like they struggle with is a bad thing. A character that doesn't need anyone to survive is not realistic. Cause humans are dependent on each other. We are like to say we are independent, and we mean this like financially independent. And when we talk, we say like financial independent or independent that I care about myself. That's not independence. That's not independence. That's like being a functional human. Like you want someone to cook for you, to clean after you. Are you a baby? You want someone to give you money? Are you a baby? Like you providing for yourself is not being independent. It's just being a living being. Animals does that. They care about themselves. They are like independent in your idea of independence, but this is not independence. At least not in the sense that what they mean, because they talk about like not needing any other human to live. That's not realistic. We still need other humans to live because without other humans, we cannot simply live. We cannot and we will not be ever emotionally independent. We still need each other. We still dependent on each other, even if we can care about ourselves and feed ourselves. Because life is not food. Life is more than that. Life is love. Life is spending time with people that you care about. Because without them, you will die. You cannot live alone. And in that sense, nobody is totally independent. I'm super introvert, and I still acknowledge that I need human connection. But without that, I will go crazy. I will start imagining characters like from my mind and speaking to them. It's not about connecting the universe. Because some people are criticizing the movies and say, like, the problem with Marvel after Endgame is that everything doesn't feel like it has a purpose and doesn't feel connected and stuff. No, this is not the problem at all. I would say I was so excited because they said like they want to build the characters, they want to have like a story, and that was good. I was super excited for that because, like, for example, Iron Man alone, if you watch like the trilogy, it's good on its own. Captain America as well. Every Marvel movie before Endgame was good on its own. The connection stuff, the Avengers stuff, was the event that connects them all. That was a bonus. That was a bonus for you for like following the whole like Marvel cinematic universe. That was like a bonus for you, the fans. But each movie on its own can stand. It's really good on its own. The problem right now is that the movies on its own are shitty. And it wouldn't help if you connect those shitty shit together to make a bigger shit. That's not helpful. I cared about Avengers because I cared about each of those characters and I loved them, so I loved seeing them together and seeing their like individuality clashes with each other. That was good. That was really good. But now, like you put this new Avengers together, I wouldn't give a damn about them. I wouldn't give a damn if somebody came and killed them all. I wouldn't care. Why would I care about those characters that I cannot relate to and that I didn't love whatsoever? In Endgame, I cared about those characters. I even cried because I felt like fear. I felt fear for their lives because this is how much I have connection with those characters. I cried for Gamora. I cried for Black Widow. I cried for Wanda when she lost Vision. I cried for those characters. I cried for Tony. I cried for Captain America. I cried for Thor. I cried for Rocket Raccoon. I cried for each one of them because I cared about them. I cried when Spider-Man said, "I don't want to go to his like father figure," because those are real characters. And now you have garbage. You created garbage. And let's talk now about what triggered this whole recording. Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion is a shithole that undermines not only the established characters, but undermines Marvel past and Marvel future. Secret Invasion tell us that they're the race of shape-shifting aliens that we saw before in Captain Marvel how Nick Fury and Captain Marvel promised them to find them a planet. And now they still don't. So they decided to go on genocide and kill all the humans because this is the rational thing to do when uh, someone, just one person from a species, hurt you or lied to you. You kill their whole species. What Secret Invasion wants to tell me, because it's justified their reasoning, okay? It will be not a problem if they are confronting them with how stupid their reasoning are. Like if the show actually like try to tell us, like, well, this is the reason they want to kill every human being and take over the planet because Nick Fury lied to them. If the show like started to say, well, that's stupid reason and stupid reason because that and that and that, it wouldn't be a problem. But the show is treating this reason as like a good reason. And this stupid ass reason. It's like being like bitten by a dog and then go on genocide to kill all dogs. That's not reasonable, my dude. That's stupid. That's freaking stupid, and I don't know how the show is trying to justify that. I don't know how. And when the show finally tell us reason why Nick Fury didn't do that for them, it's not even being told by Nick Fury. It's told by Gaia, shapeshifting as Nick Fury. So I don't even know if those words are true or not. Did Nick Fury told her to tell Gravik that? We didn't get a confrontation between Nick Fury and Gravik this whole show, by the way. This is how bad this show is. And the reasoning is more stupid. So Nick Fury tells, or Gaia tells Gravik, and I will assume that this is a real reason, because if it's not a real reason, then this whole scene is more garbage than what it already is. Okay? Because it's already like doesn't make sense. Because in the scene also, Gaia as Nick Fury tells Gravik that when the snap happened, she like Nick Fury felt like relief. Now I don't even know if that's real or not. Does even like the show writers know what the freaking they are doing? Like the whole scene, I don't even know if it's true or not. But I have to assume it's true. Otherwise, this whole scene doesn't serve any purpose. So let's assume that that's a real reason, okay? So the reason is, Gaia's Nick Fury says, well, uh, after a few years, I realized that, I cannot find you a planet. And the only way is to make you live on Earth. Okay, I don't know why I'm changing my voice, but it's okay. That's not even Nick Fury's voice. I don't know why I'm doing that, but let's move on. And he says like, it's easier to save 8 billion people than try to change their minds. You didn't even try, my dude. You didn't even try. You didn't even try, and I know that this is because of like the black experience and stuff. And by the way, I'm black, okay? I don't have to say that like to have an opinion, but I'm black, okay? So don't come at me. But the reasoning is stupid because he didn't even try. And even like, let's say the 8 billion people are racist, okay? The 8 billion people are racist. They are shape-shifting aliens. Just make them like take like somewhere in desert or stuff and tell the humans that they are like us. Lie to them. Lie to the humans that this is your whole deal. You are Nick Fury. You are the liar. Okay? Tell the humans that they are just like Asgardian or something. Like humans let the Asgardians live on New Asgard. Let's assume that's because the Asgardians look like us, okay? So, make the scrolls shapeshift as humans and look like us, and nobody would care. And build them like a new nation, alien nation on Earth. Give them like a part of land and let them live on that land. It will be better. Like, talk to them. Talk to like the scrolls. Talk to them. You didn't even tell them. Go to them. Tell them. Well, humans are dumbass racist. The only way to live between them is to shapeshift. So I'm sorry, you're gonna shapeshift your whole existence. Please, like, can we make this? Like, please, and maybe eventually you will live in your own skin and blah blah blah. But at the moment, can you shapeshift and just take this part of land and make your nation and stuff, and maybe you will become so powerful of a nation and you show goodwill, and maybe over time you form these relations with all nations around the world, and you give them your science and stuff, and eventually you will come out as scrolls and they will accept you because you have been good to them all those years. Like, I'm giving more writing and thought than what those show writers did. That's what I'm doing right now. Because that's a stupid ass reasoning that Nick Fury has. Or Gaia, I don't know. And it bugs me that we didn't even get a confrontation between Nick Fury and Gravik. That's bad. Because you teased this, like, throughout the series. Now, like, when we got finally the confrontation, it wasn't real. So, you really, like, messed up big time. Now, in terms of the second big disappointment, Rhodey is a scroll. It's a good idea, but the problem is, if it's like a scroll after endgame, it doesn't matter, but it will be like, okay, good trick. Before endgame, it matters and it undermines a lot of things. So what they're doing is that they are teasing that it's in Civil War after he got shot by Vision, because he is wearing this like hospital clothes. That's really bad. That's really bad. it undermines the scene when Tony Stark dies because, like, in that scene, we see like the closest people to him giving him goodbye, and now we know that one of them was freaking Skrull. The emotional impact of the scene is not only because we care so much about Tony and about his death and about the implication of that, but it's also because we, as an audience, seeing that his wife is accepting that he's dying, and like Spider-Man, Tony is like a father figure for him. He's like in denial of like Tony Stark death, and we are seeing his friend, his longtime friend, saying goodbye to him. It's really important, and you undermining this is a big no-no. That's like, how? Don't, please, like, don't retcon this. Don't F up this, please. And in terms of the third and my biggest issue in the finale, not in the series, because the whole series idea and the whole pacing of the series, it's a nightmare. It's not entertaining whatsoever. But the problem with the ending is that now we got like an overpowered character, Gaia. Gaia not only is having powers of Captain Marvel, like the overpowered character, not only that, she got also the powers of all the Avengers and lets through some villains. So she's like getting all the powers, all of them. That's so overpowered. That's more overpowered than Superman. You got a character that can annihilate everyone. She can also shapeshift. So she can theoretically shapeshift into an Avenger and having the same superpowers, so no problem. And she can like make them sleep and take them to the device and take their memories, so it's like identical. That's F up. This character is so overpowered. And by the way, why would Drax's DNA carry his tattoos? Because they show her, like when she like shifted her hand to Drax, she has the tattoos. This shows how much the show writers don't know anything about those characters and they treating it as like a mockery. The whole new MCU is like making fun of the old MCU. It's a mockery of the old MCU. Because Drax tattoos, like in a deleted scene of the Guardians of the Galaxy, Drax talks about how his tattoos represent his life, and some tattoos represent his daughter, his family that been killed by Thanos, by the way. So, her having Drax tattoos doesn't make any sense because that's not something that you get by birth. It's it's not in his DNA, it's tattoos. So now we got this Gaia character that can apparently get the power of everyone and their tattoos. A very like overpowered character, overkill character, and there's no apparent weakness. And if you play this because like you want to make a character that's so powerful and audience go, wow, yeah, we can love this character, it's so powerful. No. You're making character that is more difficult to relate to humanize. And it's not helping that throughout the show she shows zero emotions and she has been a dickhead and she got zero character development. Like at the beginning of the show, she was like hating humans and not trusting them. At the end of the show, she's not trusting humans. It is the same. And she is now in war with them. So she was right. The show actually proves her right and proves Tiglus wrong. His whole speech with her about her mother and him believing that there's a way. So the show is essentially telling us Talos and his wife are stupid ass people, and that Gaia is the right one. Gaia was right. That's messed up. Don't do that. You got a character with no character development whatsoever. This is the same from the beginning to the end of the show. That's F up, dude. And speaking of this awful finale, how the hell, like, humans, you showed us that humans know that a scroll saved the president. He showed us that. And the president also knows. So now the president turns in evil or turns around like against all the scrolls. All of a sudden, that came out of nowhere. I feel like that's only there to make Talos looks bad, honestly, because like he said like I'm gonna save him and that will show him that scrolls are, and instead of that, now he want to annihilate every scroll. So essentially, Talos was stupid and he sacrificed his life for nothing. That's what this show is telling us. In addition, the whole show, the whole Secret Invasion, is a wasted potential. And of course, the show had to end with a CGI battle that looks awful and it's not exciting whatsoever because what makes battles, at least for me, exciting is not only like the technical and like the videography and photography, no, but also me being like emotionally invested in this action. I'm emotionally like invested and I want a certain outcome and I'm scared that I will not get this outcome. But here, I know the outcome because you spoiled it by like showing us the Marvel's trailer. I don't know anything about those characters' emotional state. I don't know them. I'm not invested at all. In Endgame, the end fight, I was invested because I love each of those characters. Another example, in The Boys, spoiler alert, when Homelander fight Butcher, I was so invested because they built up to this fight emotionally. That's how you make a good fight scene. Like, there's so much you could have done with those characters if you, like, given them, like, a good budget, like a movie budget, because this whole series, honestly, should have been a movie. Like, even if that's the same script, it would be better in the movie in terms of pacing, because the pacing is all messed up. In terms of storytelling, it would be better as a movie, and that's goes for a lot of Marvel shows, sadly. But the problem is that like secret invasions of shape-shifting aliens who we can trust, and you don't have big names. There's no impact. You don't feel anything, and there's no emotional even impact. Even when you got Rhodey and you make this whole like Civil War thingy, it's nothing, Sandwich. There's no emotion. There's nothing. You killed the scroll that's shapeshifting as Rhodey, which you implied that it's happening since like Civil War. You killed her like in a second. There's no emotional impact of that. There's no like, oh, I spent time as Rhodey and I was good. I was feeling good towards humans and stuff, but I have to do this to save my race or something. There's nothing. You don't give any characteristic to the characters because why, right? Because why humanizing the character and giving them depth, right? Just kill them off, right? And there's no like maybe a character, other characters that we have like emotional connection with and turn to be a scroll. There's nothing like that. That's the whole show is a nothing sandwich, and the only reason that it's even tolerable is because you got a good actors that they are doing their best. They truly do, but you give them nothing. You give them nothing to work off. And the writers even fall for like the Marvel evil formula, which is like having the evil character at the beginning be like understandable and maybe relatable a little bit, and you maybe understand their like motivation, but at the end they all of a sudden do like 180 and turn into like that crazy character who like kills his own people and show no empathy, so you have to hate him. That's what they do with this show. You can't have like in a moral gray area. You can't do moral gray area, right? Honestly speaking, the only good scene in the whole show is the scene with Nick Fury and his wife when they shot at each other and they missed the bullet, and it's so sweet, and that's what like you should have done with like the whole like Marvel situation after Endgame. Show us human connection, show us love, show us things like that. But that's the only good scene in the whole show. In the whole show, that's one good scene. That's it. It's so frustrating. Why I'm watching this? I keep asking myself why I'm watching this. And I think that the only reason I'm watching this is out of obligation at this point. To say that I watched the whole Marvel series, the whole journey. But it's in decline. And I don't even know that I have the tolerance to watch more of it. I don't really have any hope left. Have little hope left, let's say. And I think that I will jump ship soon when DC actually start making things based on James Gunn plan. Because James Gunn is someone that I can trust. James Gunn understands storytelling, understand characters, understand emotions, understand what makes characters tick. If he made me cry over a raccoon and a tree, he can save DC. But right now, the situation looks terrible. It's not superhero fatigue. I hate this idea. It's not superhero fatigue. It is just bad movies fatigue. Give us good movies like Guardians of the Galaxy and people will show up. Give us stupid ass movies like Eternals and nobody will care. Thank you for listening to me. I really hope you got something out of it. I'm not a YouTuber, I'm not a content creator. I'm just a guy from somewhere, not a native, obviously, and not a native English speaker, and just ranting out his thoughts. See you guys.